Emmanuel, I'm sending blessings your way. What do you want for 2022, Emmanuel?
We have to make way. So it's a delight being a part of this round table.
All right.
Emma, if I don't carry OB van now, you stop to us. Use OB equipment, sorry. OB.
All right, very quickly, we've got Nnamdi Ekuba all the way from
Benefit Boys
from the diaspora. You know, I met him a couple of months back, and it was such a pleasure because, to be honest, this man have got the sauce. Nnamdi, it's an honor.
You wash.
Benefit Boys. It's nice to be at the rectangular round table. Why you shout at the
I greet you.
He's always a nuisance, isn't he?
Yeah, it's nice.
This is what happened when you give people power.
I listened to Tony when he said that we are getting ready to move to the other side. Now we'll go to the other side in Jesus' name.
No, it depends on what the other side is now.
Nnamdi, why are you sounding like a gentleman?
I don't understand.
Nnamdi, why are you sounding like a gentleman?
Being a father has humbled him.
Like lots of high.
He's paying bills now.
I have to. Yes, I'm paying lots of bills.
Nnamdi, just do one thing for us this year. Nnamdi, we'll not forget you for this. Antonio! Do it for us.
Keep it to the end. Keep it to the end, Nnamdi.
Nnamdi, are you still there? All right. I guess there's a network ditch there.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying there are lots of highs, lots of lows, sports-wise, personally as well. But it's always nice to share the mic with every single member of the team. Like Emmanuel said, he said, I'm still a member of the team, and I like to hear things like make me happy.
All right.
Benefit boy.
Yeah, member of many teams in there. I don't even know where he stands.
Sarafina is also standing by, the king of boys. Sarafina, how you doing? Sarafina, are you there?
This is what happens when you leave the ASMR. You lose connection. She has lost connection.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Chidi, I will shut you up on this show.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Sarafina. Yes.
Hi, good evening to everyone. Great to be a part of the round table. Pardon my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I should be fine.
Every day.
Which of the under the weather?
Since you
can't be on top of the weather.
Don't carry belly.
All right, thank you.
Tony has been keeping you under the weather.
Thank you very
Anthony,
much.
I've got an update. Just an update.
Yes.
I hear that the Ezenwai, the woman who has me looking all fresh, is coming on this show.
All right.
So the Ezenwai is coming.
We're looking forward to that. All right. Very, very quickly. Daisy Michael joins us also on the broadcast. She's just by my side here.
And you said to introduce me last time.
No, not the last.
Intentional, right?
What is it?
Thank you very much.
It's not intentional. All right. I kept you the best for the last. There's David also, very quickly. So let's meet you.
Yeah,
once
of course.
again.
Good evening, Lagos. Always a pleasure to be here. I think this has to be my first round table.
Yeah.
So we are looking forward to an exciting show.
Hopefully, it's not your last. The Ezenwai said that. No, take it to the bank. I said it. 2022. Hopefully, it's not your last.
David, are you there?
You obviously can see I'm here.
All right. No, I just needed to verify. All right, you're welcome, man. How you doing? Quickly.
I'm good. I'm sweet as ever.
As ever.
All right. All right. So let's get the.
Overdose, please. Be an elder.
I'm an elder now. But I do with Bitter Cola is not sweet.
All right. So let's get the conversation on the way. Once again, welcome to everyone. And well, the very first conversation we've got, it's quite a lot. We've got barely 2 hours. I don't know how much we can cover, but let's see how fast we can go. Very, very quickly before we go pay some bills. So the first talking point have got to be the National Sports Festival. Which, of course, went down earlier this year after, well, a couple of postponement. The Nigerian National Sport Festival, a biennial multi-sport event, organized by the federal government of Nigeria through the National Sports Commission. And of course, that was held in Edo State. That was in March this year. And basically, like I talked about earlier on, several issues surrounding that one. Postponement, the COVID-19 came, and then there was a need to push that tournament to March, which eventually went down. And that one saw the likes of Delta State winning for the 6th time in a row. That's actually massive. Also, the likes of the host Edo State coming second, Bayelsa, Rivers, Lagos, Oyo, Akwa Ibom, Ogun, Kano, and Imo State making up the top 10 teams in terms of these standings. But the question, very, very quickly, before we've got barely 3 minutes before we go for our first time. Chuma, I'll start from you. We can go deep into all of the drama, the little details about the sport festival. But on a scale of 10, how would you rate the sports festival that went down, the 20th edition of the sports festival that went down earlier this year? Paying into cognizance the challenges that faced and rocked that festival. But finally, we're able to get that over the line.
Yeah, it's supposed to be our Olympics in Nigeria, more like the Olympics in Nigeria, the case season. We know about the debacle around that holding. At the point, the Edo State government did not even have money to host, and they were expecting the federal government to approve some funds for them. And we thought, even with a week to the games, that it may not happen eventually. The Edo State deputy governor was very vocal. He was the chairman of the LOC for the competition. He plays football himself, so he's a very fit man. And eventually, when it came to fruition, was quite exciting. I think from the mascot they had for the event to the opening and closing ceremonies, they brought some music stars to perform too and excite us. And we saw some records, we saw some young talents who emerged from the competition. So all around, it's a good thing that we had it happen. But moving forward, I'll be keen to see us organize ourselves better now. There's all talk about Delta State dominating, and there's a magic around Delta. I give it to them. By the way, in 2011, River State won the sports festival, so Delta have dominated, but not 6 times in a row, as the case is, because in 2011, Port Harcourt hosted the games and River State topped the medal table. 2012, Lagos hosted, Delta State won that one. 2014, Calabar should have hosted, and the delay to 2015, it didn't happen. 2016, it didn't happen. Eventually, Abuja hosted in 2018 to take the shame off Calabar, capital of Cross River State. We've not had, consistent sports festivals in the last decade, as we should have ordinarily, as many as 5 to 6 in the space of 10 years. But we're happy this has happened, and kudos to the Edo State government. And it's high time we thought about getting the private sector to come in and support this thing and not just expect the government to come through with the funds. Back to the event itself, Anthony. I was happy it happened, and indeed it was a success. There was so much noise too on social media. I give it to the LOC for putting that together beyond what we saw on television.
All right, we've got more to talk about, but we have got some bills to pay, so we'll go do that. For the records, we're streaming live on YouTube. All right, just head straight to YouTube and Facebook also. We'll be back. about so much. It's a full house. There's Ufoma Igbamino, there's Chidi, there's Brownish, Chuma, Overdose, Daisy Michael, Emmanuel Etem, of course, and there's Serafina, David Okwara, and of course Namdi Ekuba, not forgetting myself, Anthony the Voice. Just like I was saying before we went on that quick timeout, we're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. All right, just head straight to those portals and be a part of the excitement this amazing evening. So we're pretty much talking about the National Sports Festival, taking a look in retrospect how that went. Ufoma, it is always good to come to you because you've been there, especially looking back to how the National Sports Festival used to be and what we have now. I laid my hand on something which actually goes back to the very first National Sports Festival in 1973. That was in Lagos, and Henry Adefepo was the then Minister of Sports, and the words in his opening ceremony, which was supposed to be the words that would guide this festival over the years. But right now, I don't know. But let's take a listen. We'll be back.
We aspire to reach the heights attained by top-class sportsmen and women in the more advanced countries. If we seek to catch up with them and in the very near future surpass them in all aspects of sports, then we have no choice but to reorientate our approaches and methods. The time has come for us in this country to remedy the present distressing situation and work out plans to harness our human and material resources and exploit them to the best advantage of members of our future national sporting teams, and as such, we look forward to top-class performances in all fields.
Well, there you go. Deep words. But Ufoma, really, what you make of it now? And also putting into cognizance that of this year, do you think it ticks the box?
Unfortunately, I really didn't follow that of this year because to be very honest, the National Sports Festival over the last couple of years has turned into a political tool. It's become about what state is going to win and whatever anybody's going to do to
win at all costs,
just to win. So you see certain athletes competing for Bayelsa State in this particular edition, and then they're competing for Oyo State. In the next edition, it's now about the highest bidder, whoever gets to pay very well, or whoever gets to offer these athletes lots of money.
They become mercenaries.
Exactly, that's the word I was looking for. It's become a mercenary affair, when in the real sense of the word it actually ought to be a breeding ground for the next generation, so to speak, which is a hallmark of Nigerian sports in general in recent times. It's no longer looked at, with the business sense, with the mind to produce talent. It's now a political tool, so that a state governor can brag that one of his achievements was that, he won the National Sports Festival back to back, or that he hosted the National Sports Festival. So, unfortunately, just like almost everything in Nigeria, let me know.
All right, Emmanuel, are you there? Emmanuel, are you there?
Yes, I am. Sure.
All right, let's get your 2 cents. Very quickly before we move away from this to all the talking points. Your assessment of the National Sports Festival earlier this year in Edo. I mean, how do you think that went? And you know, Delta is to host the next. They won this year's, and what do you think we should look forward to as regards this?
I mean, perennial champions they are, so I don't think hosting will be a problem. It won't be the first time they will be hosting a national sports festival. But again, as regards the overall assessment of the last or the just concluded NSF, I honestly think I'll give them a 7. Postponements, uncertainty, and eventually we had a national championship. And you know, as much as we love the National Sports Festival for its festivities, we shouldn't forget the essence, Tony, of the National Sports Festival is, you know, simply to, as much as forge unity, but also give athletes the opportunity to be discovered. So I'm not going to overflog Edo State. I genuinely think they did the best they could, and the best team won at the National Sports Festival. Not surprising that they eventually hosted and won.
All right. Well, Adese Michael, you're always very passionate about things back home. Did you really follow that?
Well, I did, not keenly, not with keen interest, because it was going to happen in 2020, then the pandemic, and then they began to the preparations and events that led to that sport festival. Is it going to hold or is it going to hold? You know, there was a little bit of lack of political willpower, and it would appear that they didn't make it a priority. That was where some persons began to, you know, lose interest. But overall, they try to push it up out there for us to see. They try to make it a success. They try to make it happen. But eventually, we saw some countries, you know, rack up medals. We also saw some countries that didn't quite do well.
State, you mean?
Some states, yeah.
Some states, I should say. Yeah. I know countries are so used to countries and all that.
Yeah, it was an Olympic year. So
yeah, some states and all that. So I think overall, what some of us are looking forward to now, going forward, is the athletes that emerged, the next big things. Because you know what happened during the Olympics. I talked about the numbers we took to the Olympics that was quite low. I talked about the age as well. So hopefully, the talents that emerged will be harnessed, will be packaged for the Paris 2024. I think that is where some of us want to know. Really, it's not just enough hosting some of these big national sports festivals. What next for the athletes that were discovered? The next big things. We want them to fly our, you know, flags at the Olympics, the bigger stage where they'll be given platform to, you know, ply the trade.
All right. Well, let's see how that goes come the later part of 2022. Let's move away very quickly. We have got the European Super League next. That was one hell of a debacle in the sporting world. And to be honest, you know, it was an idea that I thought to a large extent maybe would have seen the light of day, but it was extinguished, you know, even before implementation. But talking about that, that was pioneered, led by the Real Madrid president Florentino Perez. That movement have always been there from the 60s. You know, there have been a couple of times the issue of a breakout league have always popped up, and somehow the UEFA have found a way to always quench that fire. But yet again, Florentino Perez led this one. That movement started since 2009. But the idea was a 20-team annual competition, including top 15 clubs as permanent members. The other 5 clubs, you know, would vary each season. And there was a purported 3.5 billion pounds in initial infrastructure grants, which will be split among these teams. And the idea was, you know, just to create something different from the Europa League and the Champions League we often have. In the words of the organizers, they felt the Champions League was simply obsolete and teams were going into financial meltdown. And they thought the Super League was the ideal idea to get teams away from financial struggles. Overdose, this one came through, and to be honest, it was repelled, caused a lot of issues, especially in behind teams, English teams, protest. I mean, Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, Man United fans also protesting. You know, I mean, from the night that announcement came to the next morning, it was like football was gonna end.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that was in the month of April.
Yeah.
The announcement came in as a joke that, of course, 20 teams will go ahead to form the Super League. But I just saw it as a way of club sides wanting to, just make sure that they balance their books, so to speak, because it was coming at a time where COVID was really hitting hard, and then fans were not coming to the stadium, so most of the clubs actually lost money. And so Florentino Perez woke up one day and contacted Agnelli, the man in charge of Juventus, and said, come, you know what, let's just form a Super League where 20 clubs will surely be part of it, but 12 will be the founding members. And so that's how, clubs in the EPL also took interest, and immediately that announcement was made, it received a lot of backlash from the fans. The fans really didn't want it, but again, FIFA and UEFA came together. It was the first time I actually saw them coming together to fight on the same side, and I was quite surprised. Seferin and a man called Infantino forming an alliance and saying, no, in fact, any player who takes part in the Super League will not play the World Cup, will not play in the Champions League. And so it became a situation of, teams trying in fact, Perez came out to say it was a situation of clubs trying to just balance the books. They just woke up one day and thought, oh, we are losing money. Fans are not coming, so let's make money from the Super League. And it really didn't see the light of day. Even at that, some teams started withdrawing because of the backlash. And once they were withdrawing, they were apologizing to the fans. Oh, we are so sorry. But Perez was still holding out that, look, this thing must see the light of day.
I like a man who stands for what they believe in.
Oh my goodness.
Perez reminds me of the ism of sports. I say something outside, I say it inside. I don't run away from what I said.
Yeah, I know.
What I said is what I said.
I respect him for that. But they just realized that when a saw is left for too long, it immediately begins to reject medicine. So the fans didn't want it to stay for that long because they didn't want you to,
which one did this one again?
You understand? That's what the others say. You understand? And that's how it was crushed.
Yeah. That incident in April, thinking of it right now, it made me think about a whole lot of things. A lot of things that some of us had been predicting was going to happen. So over the last 20-25 years, football clubs have been in their own doldrums. They've been acting like they're in an isolated world, where nothing in the financial world actually concerns them. So it was Florentino Perez himself, who at a point in time in the early noughties or late 90s, started this whole Galactico era where he could just literally buy anybody he wanted to buy. Picked off Luis Figo from rivals Barcelona, went on to add the likes of Zinedine Zidane, David Beckham and co. But the point was, football clubs were acting like they were in a bubble, spending money recklessly, acting like it doesn't concern them. Even when the world almost came to a halt in the 2008, 2009, remember the financial crisis globally? It really didn't touch the football world. Abramovich was still spending £52 million to buy Fernando Torres from Liverpool or thereabout. Was it £50 million? My memory serves me right. But then, when that financial crisis didn't hit them in 2008, 2009, COVID did hit them in 2020. And when that happened,
that was a big
exactly. It brought the reality home. So the whole talk of the Super League, to be honest, was I almost wanted to use my fist at some of them when they were talking about how it's for the fans. I'm like, shut up.
What really infuriated the fans was that those 12 members will not be relegated. Lack of competitiveness. So no matter what they do, even if they play badly, they'll still come the following season.
But just about the money.
But I mean, these 12 are arguably some of the biggest clubs with the biggest fan base.
So here's the thing.
With the ability to draw finance.
The idea, as far as I'm concerned, was not a bad idea.
That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't a bad idea. However,
the execution.
The execution, the way they went about it, there was this arrogance, that they went about like, ain't nobody care what you're going to do.
I feel like the entire idea, while it wasn't wrong, the execution could have gone one of two ways, right? So I'm sure Fiorentino Perez probably thought that, hey, if we had put this to the fans, it would have leaked and it would have eventually got to FIFA and UEFA, and then they would have found a way to cut it off. So what he was thinking was, why not spring this on the entire world and believe that our fans will back us?
Well, here's the thing.
Blindside FIFA and UEFA into believing it and accepting it when the fans back us, because we've seen leagues that have literally done that. Teams break away from the other leagues.
The Premier League is a breakaway.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's the problem. The problem was they underestimated the power of the fans, in the sense that we have a very, not to be negative, but we have a very pampered and entitled fan base when it comes to football fans nowadays, right? So, and football fans nowadays can be very aggressive. So what struck the football fans was not, let's not forget, when Fiorentino Perez and the entire Super League teams came out and were saying that it's for the fans, that was after UEFA and FIFA had already spread out the notion, that had already put it out there that, hey, this is literally just for money. Right? They made it clear that it was a money battle, and because UEFA and FIFA had controlled the narrative, there was literally nothing the Super League teams were going to say that was going to make it seem or make the fans accept that it was actually for the fans. It would have benefited the fans, but ultimately it was down to money. If they had come out originally and said, we're not making enough money, we would like to give entertainment, but we also want to keep making money.
And then the lesser fans to the likes of West Ham, Everton, they felt neglected. They felt like they were sidelined.
They don't make up wrestling.
I mean, sideline us and say the project is for us. That's contradictory.
Well, just to let you know that you can be a part of the conversation. Share with us on WhatsApp 0809 5975805 0809 5975805, and of course would get to the phone lines 0700 993 993 in a bit. For the ladies, 014657 190. We've got 2 minutes before we go pay some bills. Very quickly, Samuel Victor Akpan is also standing by. Apologies, I didn't see you at that time. All right,
you never liked Samuel.
Come on,
Anthony, and it just showed on final day.
Wow. Samuel is family. He understands that. So, Chidi, keep your words to yourself.
Wait, can we hear Samuel? Samuel, are you there?
Samuel, are you?
I have a problem with Anthony.
Samuel, are you fair?
Anthony have asked everybody question in this for all the. Anthony, you have not come to me.
Chidi, be humble.
Why are you sweating under the AC? That's my problem. That's my problem with you now. Why are you sweating under the AC? Don't clean your sweat. Although please focus on Anthony. Why are you sweating under the AC? That's my problem with you. Why are you sweating? Don't ask me any questions. Why are you sweating under the AC?
Samuel, are you there?
You have chased him away. The poor boy, benefit boys. The last minute benefit boy. Let him go.
Sam, all right. Would hopefully link up with Sam in a bit. But okay, Sam, are you with us?
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I was away. Busy with something else.
He was working for the Lord. Sam, great to hear your voice. Welcome.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening.
Sam is sounding so soft-spoken. Please, is this Sam or this is another person?
This is palm wine, not some wine.
Oh, okay.
Could we stop that? Could we really stop that in 2021?
Okay, so now this is Sam. Now, I've just confirmed. It's really Sam. Yeah.
The one from before was the one in the Bible. This one, like the one with the newsroom.
All right. Chidi, in 50 seconds, your thoughts before we go pay some bills.
So everybody, 10 minutes. Chidi, I want to do my life. You'll not succeed. Anyway, you can't stop the SMO. I'm a moving train. SMO is a moving train. No, all I have to say is my SMO is coming. Because when we go on this ad and come back, I will have the time, Anthony. I know this. Safina is no longer here. I've chased her out. And then she was relegated to you. When my SMO come, she's full package. All right. She's been giving me full package.
All right. Just so you don't
like the Super League.
I know she's on the light.
She's like Super League.
She's the Super League. And I'm going to play in that league forever.
Is this how he behaves every
I'm going to play in that league forever.
We're tired.
I'm a gentleman. I'm sorry you're meeting me in this mood today.
We're tired.
You're a very good man.
Emmanuel,
and thank you for
please, 2 weeks suspension.
You want ratings to drop.
All right.
He's into documentaries. Let him do documentaries for your news.
All right, we have got some bills to pay, so let's go do that. And when we come back, we'll hear from you your thoughts about the Super League and, of course, the National Sports Festival. How do you rate them for the Super League? Where were you when that news? And what did you feel like? I mean, did you think the idea was noble, or do you think it was just vindictive and very wrong on all levels? Share with us. Still 99.3 Nigeria Info, the Round Table with Femi and the gang. keep you informed right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Welcome, of course, the round table right here with Femi and the gang. It's a full house. Everybody is here. There's Namdi also, Ekuba. We'll get to him in a bit, but the conversation where we're talking about have got to do with the Super League. And I was talking about the fact that I'd hear from you. All right, time for you to talk to us very quickly. 2-3 calls, and then we move away. We've got 1 hour left. All right, let's see how we can do this. 0700 993 993 993. For the ladies, 014 657 190. Talk to us. What do you make of the National Sports Festival, the European Super League also? Hello.
Hello, good evening, everybody in the house.
Friday. You're welcome, man.
What this God has helped me.
You're welcome. Talk to us.
Yeah. See, about the National Sports Festival, I think it has lost its value. Because in those days, I remember those days when Edo and Delta were still together. Many athletes were discovered for Bendel State. It was a discovery grant then. But now it's like the highest bidder with the athletes. And do you blame the athletes for the poverty in the land? Okay, if I have the time now, I will send that there. Even my thoughts, I will go and get Delta State government to go and take him. That's why I'm from Edo State. So that I will just go and raise for them. For me, I enjoyed it. Thank God to my state. They were able to host a festival of that big, despite the pandemic.
All right.
So I really appreciate them.
All right.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Friday. Let's check out this one. Hello? Anybody home? Yes. Azu, you're welcome. 30 seconds, quickly.
Okay, you guys in the studio, good evening.
All right.
Honest to the Super League that some of those European clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Chelsea, and Juventus, they are planning to hold before the FIFA hammer on them. When the issue come out, I myself I did not feel happy about the development of that Super League, because for the small league, the small clubs, they are not able to afford the tax and other things that will be in that Super League. So I am so much happy for FIFA action, for them to cancel the Super League and give them a warning that anybody that can be able to control that Super League to be kicked out from Europe, and that person will not be playing World Cup and other things. So I am so much excited for FIFA action.
All right.
If FIFA did not take action, football will just get boring, and nobody can be able to be watching any Premier League and others.
All right, thank you. Thank you
for you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Azu. One final call before we move away from this very quickly. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you. Yeah, you're welcome.
Glory.
Glory, talk to us quickly.
Okay, for topic, I'm not in support to.
You're not in support of what particularly? Okay. Hello there. Hello. Okay. I think we'll just hold it with the phone lines now.
We have to hold it, Anthony, because here's the one is here. We have to hold it. Anthony, it's been a long time coming. Here's the one is here. The woman that has my heart. The woman that made me chase out Safina. Safina was, please stand up. You have to welcome the SY. There's no way to the my golden jewel.
Your golden jewel.
Be careful of this one.
Well, this is for the coming of your jewel.
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
What are you saying? I'll tell you something. No, it's possible. I said the SY is coming.
Yeah.
This is our second appearance on Nigeria.
Who approved this sacrilege?
See, to be honest, I have no idea. This show has been taken over.
I've taken over we're live on Facebook, and for those who didn't see the SY doing our coronation, my beautiful SY is here. And this is the reason why I left Safina. Don't be giving me. I need 90 minutes. Safina was giving me 40 minutes, 45. No. I can't be doing that. SY has been giving. In fact, we go extra time. We go extra time.
24 hours.
24 what?
Where am I sitting?
Well, just for the records, we are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook.
Can you hear your people?
I can, and I'm sure they can hear me.
Okay, good.
Chidi.
I'm wondering.
There's the one is here.
So Chidi, what do you want to tell us?
Well, you know,
Exactly.
I just want to show, you know, when you plant a beautiful flower near the river, all you can do is to show it to the people.
All right,
So it
all
cannot
right.
smell like you.
All right.
And let you just go
Chidi,
with our friend Napoleon. This is full product. This is full product. 90 minutes.
Okay. So what should we do about this
What should we
product?
do with our president?
You don't have to do anything. I'm not showing it to you. I'm showing it to everybody who is watching on Facebook. NigeriaInfo.99.3. So please, Anthony, when you look at the SNY, you give me some respect. Give me some respect. Give me some respect,
Looks
Anthony.
like Overdose is angry.
All right.
I know the other.
All right, Chidi. Just stay compact. All right. Stay compact with your full energy. With your full package.
Why do you think I've been building muscle? Why do you think there's Why do you think I have muscle these days?
All right. Let's move very quickly. We're going to patch up racism in football and the Naomi Osaka social media boycott, which also happened in May, June. Well, Nnamdi is standing by. Nnamdi, please, I want you to talk to us. I mean, 2021, issues of racism. Do you think it's skyrocketed this year? Put into cognizance the Euros, what happened at the...
camera.
Chidi, respect yourself, fool. Respect yourself. Respect yourself.
I can't explain myself like this.
Come. Nnamdi, are you there?
I can hear you.
Yes, so I was just...
if you are here, you can't respect yourself. I respect myself.
So very, very quickly, I mean, what do you make of it this year, 2021, issues of racism? I mean, I've got so many stats here to reel out in terms of how so many players were affected this year. There have been issues of how do we, solve this? How do we get to the root of it? I mean, there have been several organizations working hard. At some point, it was taking the knee, which at some point the likes of Zaha said, I'm not taking any knee. It's not working. But I mean, holistically, racism in 2021, do you think, it's skyrocketed, or compared to other years, it was a bit mild?
I think you should add this part to Nnamdi. He's based in the UK.
Yeah, strategically too.
I think the strange thing is I live in a white community. Myself and my wife are the only black people.
Wow.
And I would say I haven't experienced any racism. Let me add so far. To it, because I don't know if that would ever happen. But if we're talking about racism in sports or football, I would say it's still the same. For 2021, nothing changed. I don't think it went high. I don't think it went low. Because we have to understand that racism as a term, or racism as an act, is not a sporting act. It's a global thing. It's something that the world has to take note of. The leaders of countries have to take note of.
True.
Football can only do what football can do. The moment they realize, this person racially abused that person, they ban you from the stadium, they hand you over to the authorities. If the authorities release you that same day, football can't do anything about it. That's why I still support the taking the knee, because that's the only way football can react to racism generally. It might not be making, it might not be reaching the heights that people thought it was going to reach. I don't know what people expected anyways. You kneel down and all of a sudden racism disappears. I don't think so. I think it's a societal problem. I think individuals have to work on themselves. I think football is doing what football should do. Except some cases, because I know in the UK they are fighting for the rights of black people to be more coaches. That's why everyone hailed the appointment of Patrick Vieira as the Crystal Palace manager. People still wonder how Joey Barton has a job. You know, as terrible as he is as a coach, he was that terrible as a player as well. Frank Lampard all of a sudden, you know, moved from being a player to becoming one of the big,
handling such a big
clubs in the Premier League. You can look at Mikel Arteta as well, from being Pep Light to being an Arsenal manager. You know, you can name it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was also someone. So the questions are being asked: why are, you know, players like this or people like this getting big roles, and the black players, people like Sol Campbell, still looking for jobs? You know, most of the other black coaches out there are struggling. If Rio Ferdinand decides he wants to be a coach today, in fact, we just forgot Gary Neville, who destroyed Valencia some years back. He got a coaching job. So that's where I'm talking about the UK now. That's where the UK are fighting for. When they talk about BAMI, they're talking about, you know, those black coaches and how they can get in. But in terms of football and the players, football is doing what football should do. The society needs to do what the society needs to do. And I don't know what's going to be in 2022, but for 2021, racism is alive, and racism is strongly alive in most of these areas.
Well, Manchester United revealed they carried out an analysis. And they found out that there was a 350% increase in abuse directed towards club players, with over 3,000 posts targeting players during the period of February and September. It also found 86% of those posts were racist, while 8% were homophobic or transphobic. But you know, there was some sort of response from players, you know, and that was the social media boycott, which was a huge step. Particularly, one man, Thierry Henry, you know, was one of the players who, well, started that movement, and then there was an agreed, you know, movement between stakeholders in the UK, beyond just football now, the NFL, some tennis stars, you know, just to boycott social media, to send some sort of statement. Just very quickly, we'll get to hear the voice of Thierry Henry, and would come back. I'll be asking you, Daisy Michael, how far, you know, can the football community go? Because with all of this, you know, taking the knee, boycotting social media, it all feels like a pat in the back.
Well, I think, all right, I think we've made it more like a talking point here, and we've also agreed that when it comes to making it a priority to completely wipe it out, yes, it cannot be wiped out, but then it can be reduced. But when that priority has not been, you know, absorbed, it's not been conceived by the organizers or the stakeholders of football, just the way they wield axes and laws of, you know, other things, like if you commit a crime in the law firm or law segment, you're going to go to jail for some. Maybe when they try to look at that angle, that racism is actually a crime, because you're discriminating against a fellow human like you, with the same intellectual power, with the same ability to do virtually everything. No one is thinking about the mental disruption, you know, that goes along with some of these players where they get racially abused. They just came to do what they love to do. They've not committed any crime just because of the color of their skin. So I think for me, the next way forward now will have to be making racism a crime. Let whoever that is a racist face the wrath of the law, prosecuted, sent to jail. Then enough of all the whole stadium ban and all that. The fan can decide not to come to the stadium and still follow proceedings with what the club is doing. Can decide to switch on the TV and say, okay, yes, there was a goal scored by so and so person. My club is doing well. But in terms of going to jail, by the time you get to jail and suffer for a couple of months, when you see a black person, you can begin to appreciate that we must not all be white. And then education, sensitization. Let it start from nursery school, from the, you know, crèche, you know, level. I'm talking about them over there. Educate people that we cannot all be white, and there's no difference between a white man and a black man. We are all equal. I mean, black people are across the world. Basketball, tennis, you know, football. We're always there. You cannot wipe us away completely. And then just recently, Tony, I invite her to come and speak out for us about the oncoming African Cup of Nations. How Imagine people asking players, will you turn up for your country?
Yeah.
Did anyone ask Harry Kane or Jack Grealish if 3 Lions call you? Would you answer? Just slap on our face. We also need to wake up as black people.
The voice of Henry reacting to quitting social media for a while.
I found out that if you want to upload a video on social media, they will block it. You can't even send it. We all know why, because of the copyrights, because money is involved. So it is different. Now for that, they can create all the algorithm to make sure that you don't do it. Sometimes I'm sure some people upload some video that they don't know that the music in the background is not supposed to be there, but they will stop you there. They will act strongly there. I just think that it's not a safe place at the minute. People are getting racially abused, as I just said. But for me, when you see in the statement, it's very important. I talked also about bullying, harassment that can cause mental issues. People commit suicide because of it.
Well, Chuma, very quickly, in just 60 seconds, he talked about some important things. If you upload videos, on social media with copyright issues, they flag it down immediately. And he's saying, well, that has got to do with money, contracts. But with racism, social media companies have not done enough. And they're not ready to take the bull by the horn because probably this doesn't concern money.
Well, yeah, there's an argument for Henry. And unfortunately, it wasn't just about Henry. We know the Premier League sides too picked out a weekend and opted to go off social media.
Yeah.
Sadly, it didn't change anything, So it's a reality we happen to find ourselves in. It's about the highest bidder in the conversation. Donald Trump had his own fair share of issues with Twitter. We know what happened here in Nigeria too. But it's important because for every time you open a social media platform or handle, your email is connected to it. You don't just wake up from dreamland and then open a handle. You have to have a Gmail or Yahoo Mail or something.
All right.
So that's how you can be tracked. Many times when we open these social media handles, we have numbers attached to them too. So like Adeze said, let's go beyond just saying things verbally. Let's go to practice punishing people. If Anthony goes on that somebody's Instagram post and says the person is a monkey, Anthony should be treated like one who has committed a major crime. Should be tracked.
Just quickly on that one. As much as that whole one weekend thing highlighted the issues, it's just performative. We're just going around in circles. Remember how FIFA and UEFA came out strong when it came to the Super League, right? What have they done?
How strongly have they come at this issue?
Exactly, because let's also not forget, for these social media companies, that segment of people who are quote-unquote racist also bring them money. You want them to cut out the money they are earning.
That's the conversation.
Please, let's just leave this talk up.
That's the conversation. But just something, there being a case of somebody convicted, all right, for hate crime in the UK. Now, that happened just a couple of weeks back. Adeza talked about it. A football fan, who racially abused West Bromwich Albion Roman Sawyers on social media, have been jailed for 8 weeks. Now, that's the first case across the world. Maybe a step in the right direction. Now, the issue is, can other countries, other states, can they adopt this and truly see hate crime as an actual crime, and you can be punishable just beyond paying fines, but also going to jail? And let's see what happens with that. But that happened in Birmingham, just for the record, and it was carried out by police officer Stuart Ward. So that's something for history. All right, let's move away from that very quickly. Naomi Osaka, social media boycott.
I know you want to move fast, but I don't like the way the elder has been looking at Ezenwanye. I have a problem with you.
Is it lusting over her?
I respect you a lot, and since generally I've been respecting you, but don't lose your respect in the last day of 2021 overdose. Don't lose your respect, because since Ezenwanye came, why are you looking at her in that way? Why? I know Anthony have the views to ask me questions on this show, and I accept that, but I will not accept you looking at Ezenwanye in that way. No. Elder, please be careful.
There's so many things.
Be careful.
There's so many things Chidi. There's so many things Chidi loves to do, and getting attention is one of them. But
I don't like attention. No, Elder, I don't like attention.
It's sad he's trying to drag me to it.
Why are you looking at Ezenwanye that way? Don't please turn your eye the other way when he looks at you.
Your eyes, your eyes is what?
What is going to do? To see, but he can't touch.
He can't touch. Hey, you can't even see.
Hey.
You can't see. All right, very, very quickly.
Because now from handshake.
I'm having fun field day. It's the last day of 2021, so enjoy yourself.
I expect you stop looking. I'm my guy. Stop looking.
All right. Well, let's get talking about Naomi Osaka's social media boycott, which of course came through in May prior to the Roland Garros, where she said she would not do any press conference during the Open because she felt they perpetuated a disregard for athletes' mental health, citing examples of athletes breaking down in a press room. She was actually fined at the French Open for actually, getting past pressers. And that was, one hell of a talking point, because several personalities reacted to that. Very quickly, we'll just get to hear what some of her senior colleagues felt about the way she reacted to the social media thingy and the press conference thingy now particularly. And then Sarafina is standing by to give us a very quick insight on that one.
The only thing I feel is that I feel for Naomi. I feel like I wish I could give her a hug because I know what it's like. Like I said, I've been in those positions. We have different personalities, and people are different. Not everyone is the same. I'm thick, other people are thin. So everyone is different and everyone handles things differently. So, you just have to let her handle it the way she wants to in the best way that she thinks she can. For me personally, how I deal with it was that I know every single person asking me a question can't play as well as I can and never will. So no matter what you say or what you write, you'll never let it handle to me. So that's how I deal with it. But each person deals with it differently.
I understand her, but in the other hand, for me, without the press, without the people who normally is traveling or are counting, are writing the news and the achievements that we are having around the world, probably we will not be the athletes that we are today. We don't want to have the recognition that we have around the world, and we will not be that popular now. So I understand her. In the other hand, I have my point of view that the media is a very important part of our sport too.
All right, there you go. The voice of Serena Williams, her sister Venus, and of course, Rafa Nadal. Sarafina, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. If you're listening to Ralph in the final words, he talked about the fact that without the press, we won't be as recognized as we are now, sportsmen or athletes generally. Do you think Naomi Osaka's social media or press conference boycott now was intentional and was justified, basically?
I think, hope you can hear me clearly.
Excellently.
I think for Naomi Osaka, she wanted to play a fast one on the media, and I'll tell you why. Prior to her coming in for that particular French Open tournament, she had struggled on clay. Clay is not a favorite place to play. And in fact, in the last 4 appearances, she has struggled to get past the 3rd round. 3 out of those last 4 appearances before going in for this year's French Open. And what did she want? And she sat down and said to herself, how do I get past this? How do I navigate this? I think it's time for me to boycott the media. I am not against mental health and the rest of it, but you don't come out and say you will not be facing the media because you feel like the mental health of athletes are not protected. When you kept on winning, you defeated Serena Williams at the US Open, and you went on saying, Serena Williams is my idol. I love you, Serena. You faced the press. You had press conferences. Now you're going in for a tournament that is not your safe haven. You're coming out to say you would not face the press. She also went on to say that she doesn't mind paying the fine. And at the end of the day, she was fined, I think, $20,000.
$15,000.
Yeah, by the organizer of the tournament. So I think Naomi Osaka, first of all, as an athlete, you should be able to understand the rules and regulations
that guides your sport.
yes, just like Big Brother Nigeria, before you go into the house, before you sign the contract and the rest of it, they get to let you know that media tour is part of the rules and regulations. So if you get to leave the house, you need to engage in those media tours. So for Naomi Osaka, it has been there.
Yeah.
You've done it over and over again. Do not hide under the umbrella of mental health. That was where I had an issue with Naomi Osaka. And at the end of the day, she pulled out of the tournament. So for me, I felt like the timing was poor. Because just like I just read the meaning to her, wanting to say she wants to boycott the media because she's going in for a tournament that is not really where she loves to play on. That just tells you that there will always be conspiracy theories. They will have different meanings, interpretations to actions of people. But my major concern is why pick out the French Open as the tournament you want to boycott the media. She also went on to say that she feels like after a loss, the kind of questions that is being asked, come off it. I am a journalist. You don't expect me to walk up to you after a tournament and start asking you, how did you sleep?
I think you are beefing now, Osaka. No, Safina, I have to come here. I've endured it for a long time. I think you are beefing Naomi Osaka.
Tony,
go and play tennis.
Tony, I will not do that.
Go and play
As a
balls.
journalist, I should be able to ask you questions that will put you on the spot because I need to get the right answer from you.
I agree.
So, all our excuses does not really hold water for me. And I think pulling out of the tournament at the end of the day, saying that she can no longer continue, she wants to take a time off tennis, perfect decision. She shouldn't have showed up for the tournament.
Exactly. But that's what players do. When you know you can't show up for a tournament, you actually excuse yourself outside reasons.
Yeah.
We've seen Serena Williams do it. We've seen Rafael Nadal do it. Oh, I'd love to be at the Australian Open or the French Open or the US Open, but because of so, I can't make it. Not that you're there, you're playing matches, you're collecting the prize money, but you don't want to face the media. And that's like electing yourself to drink this pepper soup but not eat the meat. It doesn't work that way.
She's already
For those
in
who've done that
Australia.
before.
She's already there. She's ready for this one now.
Yeah.
She posted on Instagram, hey guys, catching the next 12 hours, flying from America to Australia. I hope she's ready now because this journalist will not.
No, she has to face the press.
And again, when she took that break, I did not hear when Osaka said we are going for. Okay.
Well, sorry to actually cut you short. We've got some bills to pay, so let's go do that, and we'll be back. got to run very fast. The round table right here with Femi and the gang, and it's a full house. We're just taking a look at some of the highs and lows when it comes to sports in 2021, the final day of the year. All right, let's we'll have a quick look at the Euros in the next 2 minutes. Well, it was massive, to be honest. It was postponed. Let's not forget. Was supposed to go down in 2020, but happened in 2021. Was won by Italy after a penalty shootout in the final with England. But I mean, guys, very, very quickly, your highs and lows of the Euros 2020. Overdose, quickly, let's go.
My highs will be looking at the tournament. I think one of the things that really stood out for me in that tournament was the fact that England went all the way to the final. I think that was a high for me. I never really expected them to. And then the low for me was Eriksen slumping that game against the Belgian national team, if I recall. Denmark, Belgium.
Finland? Yeah, it was.
Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, Finland.
Denmark.
It was the Finland game, that he collapsed.
Was it Finland or Belgium? It was the Belgian game.
Anthony,
after Fosun scored.
It was the Finland. It was a Norse derby.
Were you on commercial duties?
I did that game.
Okay. But you also did the Belgium game.
I did
with Denmark.
Yes.
Okay,
do you have a problem with that?
I don't think it's Finland. Please, I have to check.
It's Finland, or God, they later 1-1-0.
All right.
Why can you be arguing facts? Some people they tell you it's
I think you're on that game with
that's the low. Some people don't agree. They don't agree.
No, I don't think
why do they argue? See, they argue. I don't think so.
But it's Finland actually. Well, I think my high points. Okay, let me check my high point now. Manuel Locatelli, Sassuolo, man. Yeah.
I think overdose. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Your low point should not be Eriksen slumping. It should be that should be your high point. It should be Eriksen not dying. Yes. I was shocked to hear that.
That's an angle. All right, David, your low point.
No. I don't understand.
All right, time.
Eriksen now does not have a club to play. I say he's not dying.
All right, David, are you there? Quickly, your highs and lows of the Euros.
It would have to have been Italy winning the Euros. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How about your lows?
Eriksen, it just tanked for him from there. The guy couldn't, the authorities in Italy would not allow him.
Yeah.
And, until recently, they terminated his contract. So,
David, what's wrong with your voice?
It was Eriksen. If you want me to shout,
like you do in the newsroom.
Yes. No, okay. You want me to shout, Abby?
Sounds better now.
Chuma, your highs and lows, quickly.
I don't really talk now. Our commentary was world class, and getting every member of this team exude their talent.
You mean this?
As commentators, amazing.
Yes, that's what happens when you take a crash course in Zeta. Yeah, you're playing it on the same channel.
He's waiting for this moment all day long, all month long, all year long, and he's gotten his goal at Wembley. 40,000 fans. Behold the genius that is Harry Kane. This could be the nail that condemns Germany's quest for another European title. 86 minutes. It's hard for a comeback. England 2, Germany 0.
Leave it, a man, a commentary legend for this life. Emma, shout out to you, respect you.
Shout out.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't tell you guys something about Emmanuel. It's a secret. Emmanuel came to me around 12 midnight.
Not again, please.
No. He said, "Ezemo, bless my commentary for 2022." No, I have to say that was what happened. But if you don't listen to me, go on with this show. Please go on with this show. You have to listen to me.
Your highs and lows, quickly.
I'm not sure I actually have lows from the Euros. I'm not sure.
That's good to hear.
But the greatest thing for me was Italy beating England on.
No,
my goodness, it was. it was shutting everybody up. Like the noise would have still been on till now, and I thank goodness, Father Lord, Baba, thank you for ensuring that Italy won that tournament.
Are you Italian?
He did not come home.
He actually went to Rome.
He went to Rome. All right. Well, we've got to move very quickly. Let's head straight.
You know here. Highs and lows from all year long.
Don't worry. Everybody cannot talk about a particular issue. All right. Let's see how well we can cover more grounds. Let's move straight to South America.
La Copa América lo confirmó. Porque la fiesta ya empezó. Todos latiendo un solo corazón. Y los campeones somos tú y yo. Messi is the first one. Lionel Messi! Magical! And what a goal for the fans back in this stadium to see. He never disappoints. And the fans bowing down to him with less than 15 minutes gone.
All right, there you go. The 47th edition of the Copa America was actually won by Argentina, led by the Mercurial Lionel Messi. It was a very hard-fought one. Emmanuel, are you there?
Yes, I am. I haven't left.
All right.
I'm still here.
All right. I mean, let's quickly banter about Lionel Messi finally laying his hand on the much coveted Copa America. Let's not forget that. I mean, there being that struggle from 2007, where they lost in the final to Brazil. In 2011, they were knocked out in the quarters. In the following two editions, they reached the final only to lose to Chile twice on penalties. But this time, it came home for Lionel Messi.
Yeah, I feel like, here it came home because it hurts as an England fan. I didn't see them lift the European Championship. But I'm going to say this, Tony, it's well deserved. It was long coming. One of those editions you mentioned where they lost the final culminated with Lionel Messi resigning or retiring, that's the word, from the Argentine national side. And you just have to do something. The entire world, even those who are or still are anti-Lionel Messi with the GOAT debates, we're rooting for him, silently. Those who could stay away to see the finals did just that. Everyone played for Lionel Messi at the Copa America, from his teammates at PSG down to the goalkeeper who became
Emiliano was a huge
he
hero.
merged all of the gods, goalkeeping gods, and it was a happy day. And as a big Lionel Messi fan, one of the happiest moments in football in 2021. So it was well deserving, and the aftermath is what we saw during the Ballon d'Or. If Messi hadn't won Copa America, Lewandowski would have been the best player in the world.
All right, and he was also the MVP for that tournament. Yeah,
I think he was one of our colleagues in Port Harcourt. Is it Patson or Kalela who always say this? Football is not a reward system. But I think the 2021 Copa America it felt like it was a reward, for all the hard work that Messi had put into the world of football. The last two they lost to Chile. They had absolutely no business losing those two. Kudos to Chile for all they did, but I think Argentina did enough. But sometimes you make your own luck, and for 2021 it was more like Messi just felt. The sad thing is that he really didn't play the best of football like he did the previous two tournaments. At least I watched all Argentina games at the Copa America. I didn't really watch all the matches at the Copa America, but I watched all Argentina games. He wasn't so extraordinary, but he was good enough. He just did enough. He did enough. He was there at the key moments, and as soon as they won that tournament, I just knew that he was going to be crowned World Footballer of the Year or Ballon d'Or winner, and ended up getting it.
All right, still in the same vein, it was the big year for Messi, who also finally left Barcelona to Paris, and Cristiano Ronaldo also returning back to Old Trafford after 12 years. Adesina Michael, massive people never thought Messi would at some point leave, but some powers beyond him Barca couldn't galvanize enough finance to fund his contract extension, given their financial situation, and it was a really painful exit. But now to Paris, new dawn for him. Cristiano also. How do you size up that?
That came as a rude shock, as a bombshell to all of the football fans. Even Fabrizio Romano's of this world didn't even come to grips with that information. He didn't have it privy like he'd always have. Came as a shocker. The president himself decided to put it out there, announce it for the world to know. There was no agent inside. Lionel Messi was going to leave Barca after 20 years association with the club. It was just, what it is. It was a new dawn for Barca. They're still struggling at the moment, but I'm sure in the coming years, seasons, they're going to be fine. But the man himself, there's been talks about not quite adapting well at the life right there in Paris. Stuck in traffic. Most times he likes to go for the school runs like he did at Barca. Right now he's struggling because of traffic of Paris and all that. But Champions League, he has redeemed his image, but still struggling domestically. But hopefully Messi will still turn on the magic, especially this new year. They need him to rack up the goals for them. For Ronaldo, he's the headline grabber. He needs no introduction. He's back in his scoring goals for Man United. There's been this debate back and forth. Is he the problem? Some of us are saying he's not the problem, but he causes more problem than he solves.
I tell you. All right, we are already in the MasterCard zone right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info, the round table. Let's take a word very quickly from our friends at MasterCard. Of course, they are sponsoring this segment of the show.
That first whistle is...
A big shout out to them. Very quickly, let's get 2 of your calls, 2-3, and then would wrap up the final few conversations we've got before we jet out of the studio. Chidi, she has been recognized, right? Okay. All right. Let's see who is joining us via the phone lines. Hello. Hello. Yes, good evening. What's your name, quickly?
Koboko.
Comrade, talk to us.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
I just want to greet you people. Happy New Year.
All right. Thank you.
God will see us through next year.
All right, thank you. God will see us through. Let's see if we can take one more. Can we? All right. Hello. What Chuma? You have got some comments on Facebook. Can you just get us in on that one very quickly? We've got to talk about Akwa United winning the NPFL title, first time in 25 years. We'll also get to talk about the advent of the NPFLTV very quickly. Imanus is standing by for that one. He'll share with us how well since that made its debut earlier this year in January. All right, and also the massive drama that went down in Saudi Arabia, talking about Formula One, Max Verstappen coming out tops in that one. All right, let's see. Can we pick one call before we go back to that? All right, can we? Okay, you know what? We'll just leave that for now. But let's get to Emmanuel. Just reflect very quickly. Akwa United, the brilliance of Charles Kennedy Boboye, 71 points. Excellent team and well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. You just mentioned it. I genuinely didn't think there was any football team last season in the NPFL that came close to matching Akwa's quality, Akwa's display and dominance. So they were worthy winners of their first league title. It was an absolute honor, calling about 60% of their games, and more importantly, that historic fixture against MFM Football Club, which was a match day 37 game at the National Champions.
Yeah.
You couldn't question it. They had the best striker. well, some would say you could also give a shout to Silas Nwankwo. They had obviously the best defender who, by virtue of his performance, gained a new team, Orlando Pirates, and now plays for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He's going to be at the AFCON. It was a progression of his performance from Akwa United, making reference to Lysander. And of course, with Kennedy Boboy, like you mentioned, he won the league with Plateau United. He's also been able to do great things with Akwa United. But it was a brilliant season, and they were worthy champions.
And for the NPFL TV, how well? I mean, there were some point where, I mean, it had to stop. There was a break and people were complaining, what is happening? Listen, we can't go into details of that right now because we don't have time.
No, we cannot. Which is the good news, the good news, by the way.
But generally when that was brought out, there were setting goals, especially in terms of finance generation, reaching out to Nigerians, finally getting the NPFL back on TV for wider coverage and viewership. Do you think the advent of the NPFL TV have answered the pertinent questions?
Not entirely, in fairness. Nigeria is not a system. At the moment, it's not too convenient for people to expunge data to stream live football, and that's what the NPFL TV is at the moment. Data is expensive in this country. Nnamdi can be on those Zoom for 3 days and not bat an eyelid because he understands, it's not as net breaking as what we have in the country. So what the NPFL organizers did, which is the LMC, was also to form an alliance with the network service of the NTA to broadcast the game within terrestrial viewing. And those who are outside of our country could see the fixtures on the application. And I can tell you this for a second, Tony, the records are there. It was wide. It was wide, the reach, and it was beautiful. But we're hoping, okay, Choma is on the phone. I don't know.
Choma?
Oh, okay. Choma is interrupting my NPFL TV analysis.
Is it okay? Not Amaka, but Choma.
I don't know. You the crowd. They hear Choma for my ear now. Anyway, Sterling.
Yeah.
But she's still talking.
No, just go on, Emmanuel. Just go on.
Just go on.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. But I don't know that. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Anyways, but
I'm hearing it too. Are you serious? It's on Zoom there. Don't worry. It's not live.
It's your Zoom. It's your Zoom, Emmanuel.
It's your Zoom.
Okay, wait. Line is there was so much put into the application, and it's correct. You mentioned some games within broadcast. I'm saying winner because I'm personally due to logistic reasons, we've got to mention
logistics.
And a great start this season. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. The man who's going to go into details is Balam Sheodiko. I'm just their commentator. I'm not an administrator, but I can tell you that the goal is beautiful. If you are on the app, regardless of your location, you can watch football. And those who continuously ask, why are we not having matches? Did that because they enjoyed the ones we broadcasted. And people love the league because of what we did, the entire production team. So, and they are masters of their craft, from the directors to the cameramen, people who worked with Super Sports while they were still in charge of production for the NPFL. So it wasn't as if it was an amateurish production. No, from the director down to the floor manager and to the commentators.
But just the consistency.
Just the consistency, and Tony, it cost a lot to broadcast a single game.
True.
To have 2 satellite tests before live matches, all these are technical terms. The fans don't care about this. They just want to see NPFL on television because they believe the LMC are capable of, putting together funds. But what they do not know, particularly for last season, was the fact that the guys who were supposed to come in as major sponsors of the league, Red Strike, reneged on their agreement. As we speak, you can take this from me, Tony. There's a lawsuit currently ensuing.
Wow.
That's the reason why you don't see too many games on television until they sort those things out. Billions they promised coming into the season last campaign didn't materialize. We had the LMC chairman self-funding, and that's why we couldn't cover all the matches. When you've got one person paid out of his pocket, a coverage will cost nothing less than 20 million naira. One match day coverage.
Wow.
One match day coverage. And we did quite a lot. I'm not going to bore you with the statistics, but and you mentioned we started in January. No, the first game was in December, and I was at the Nest of Champions between Akwa
December.
Yes, it was December we started.
Deal was done September,
after
yeah.
the sport minister gave the go-ahead. But, I mean, we're looking forward to the new campaign. Did the Southwest Derby. There's the possibility of doing more games, but it could be after the African Cup of Nations. The league isn't going on break.
Yeah.
There'll be matches ongoing, but the possibility of having the coverage during this time is almost 0 to 10.
All
Until after the AFCON, and we'll get to it, yes.
Emmanuel, thank you for all of the explanations. I'm so sorry. It's still shambles. Still shambles.
Please, we love our league.
Please give me a break. Give me a break.
Our league is the best in the world. Not shambles. Our league is not shambles.
We'll be back. Let's get a word from our friends at MasterCard. We'll be back. Pico. All right, welcome back. Well, this part of the show is brought to you by our friends at MasterCard. Big shout out to them. We of course acknowledge them on the show. Very quickly, let's get to the phone lines. Let's see how many calls we can take in the next few minutes. We've got some other conversations to actually have. The Olympics happened this year in Tokyo, but it wasn't a very good chapter for Team Nigeria. Well, there were highs and lows, but the lows seem to have outweighed the highs. We'll talk about that, but share with us 0700 993 993 993 and 014657190. All right, let's see if we can get those calls in. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. What's your name?
My name is Fortune Otaya.
All right, Fortune.
I called yesterday concerning my money. I've sent my details.
Yeah, Fortune. We have documented that. All right, and would get to you. All right, thank you very much. Let's see who's next. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you.
Yeah, this is David calling.
All right, David, talk to us quickly.
I greet you all guys in the studio, gentlemen.
Great to you.
I greet you all. Wish you happy New Year.
Yeah, just speak up, please.
Can you speak up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, better now.
Yeah. So I greet you all in the studio. Everybody in the studio. I greet you
All right. Thank you so much.
And I wish you a more successful and a better year.
All right, amen. We wish that to you too. All right, well, let's check out that. Hello. Hi.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening to you. Hello. Are you there? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening to you. Talk to us.
Good evening, everybody. I wish you a happy New Year in advance.
Yes, happy New Year to you too.
It's a happy New Year in advance.
Good evening, happy New Year. Thank you.
Hi, sir. How's the
Oh, she's great. You didn't watch her on Facebook. We're streaming. She was here a few moments ago.
Yes, I did.
So you see what I went for.
Yes, you are good.
It's good. You saw it.
All right. Yeah, happy New Year to you too in advance. Do you want to reflect on any of the talking points that we've had?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can take that. Yeah. Hello. Ooh, phone lines. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Your name and where you calling us from quickly?
Yeah, my name is Mitchell.
Huh?
My name is Mitchell.
Oh, all right, talk to us.
I just want to appreciate you guys for what you're doing. Really,
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that one. Let's see if we can take that. Hello, good evening to you. Are you there? Hello? All right. Well, let's move away very quickly and let's wrap up with the Afrobasket. This was one of the high points of 2021.
6 seconds to go here in this fourth quarter. Nigeria smelled blood in the water at the top of the fourth as Traore and Ogoke. That will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Your African champions 2021 are none other than the Tigers from Nigeria with their three-peat.
All right, we've got to appreciate the ladies. It was a three-peat back-to-back Chuma, high points. Adora Ilono, MVP, who won the final against Mali. To be honest, those girls did a great job. It's amazing. Only Senegal have won it twice back-to-back.
Yeah, that was in the 70s to 80s. Yeah. Last time we actually won the competition back-to-back for Nigeria was 2003, 2005. But this is back-to-back. Even though Lamide will admit that this was a his, as he'll say it in quote, back-to-back. Massive performance from our ladies. And it's a shameful thing that they did not get enough recognition from the Nigerian government.
Yeah.
When the football national team win the AFCON, they are hosted by the presidency. The basketball national team women won 3 successive African titles, and they were not hosted by the government. Very unfair.
All right. I can see Mr. Ma already in the building. Mr. Ma. Well, all right. He'll be coming to the mic in a bit. Well, Ufoma, I think you should talk about this. You just showed me something. Breaking live.
Well, it's not a bit of good news on the last day of 2021. Former athlete and sports administrator. He has actually a very funny name, Juju Man, as he's always called, Mr. Brown Ibewele.
Yeah.
He's actually dead as we speak. We hear he died earlier today at the hospital in Warri. I think for a while now he's been battling some health challenges, but and Chuma must know him very well.
He's
tall,
fun.
He's one of the top athletics administrators.
Led Edo State to the National Sports Festival earlier this year.
Yep, exactly. He actually did. One-time sports commissioner in Edo State. I think that was under the administration of Lucky Igbinedion back in the early noughties and all of that. But it's just that it's happening on the last day of 2021.
Wow.
May so rest in peace.
All right, we'll just wrap things up. Daisy Michael, it was a dramatic finale to the F1. Max Verstappen with a dramatic win just later on after Michael Massey decided to do what pleases him.
Honestly,
but what a championship we had.
We have amazing stuff, really. Max was arguably hot, last season. He was just unstoppable. All of the strategy Red Bull brought worked for them. Sometimes they outsmarted and outtweeted the Mercedes with some fine strategy. Even on that final day, Mercedes tried to play a fast one in terms of pitting very much later, but they called Max to the pit lane and he pitted, changed his tires to very soft tire that increased his speed and of course straight line speed, and he went ahead to give Lewis Hamilton a very good run for his money. So you would say, a lot of persons would say he didn't deserve, but I think all season he's been brilliant. He won more races, 9 races to the Lewis Hamilton's 8, and then it was dramatic, it was fulfilling, it was thrilling for the fans out there, and of course neutrals. It even brought it was mad in it. even brought more fans to the world of Formula One. So next season, a lot of persons will have their eyes fixated to find out if Hamilton will be reclaiming his title or if Max is going to make it number 2, or we could even have a new champion emerge. So many rules and regulations will be coming in 2022, and we'll be here to bring it all to the listener.
All right, thank you very much, Adese. Very quickly, finally, well, the Olympics.
On the side note, we lost Maradona this year.
Yeah.
Was it this year?
Yeah.
It was last year.
Yeah, it feels like it was a long time. It was this year.
It was
I
this
think
year.
it was last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah, because it's been a 1-year anniversary since we lost
It was 2020, okay. You've lost track of time.
Yeah, man.
Oh, all right.
2020, yeah.
At the Olympics, overdose. 10 of our athletes were disqualified for failing to meet up with the athletics integrity test, and it was a very sad one for us. Blessing Okagberi was also ousted due to failing a drug test.
Exactly.
But on the bright note, Blessing Oburududu.
There was nothing bright, please. There was nothing bright about our performance. Don't go there. Don't say on a bright note, because in one vein, and that's why the bulk starts and stops with the sports minister.
Yeah.
I remember him saying, we are not going there to make up the numbers. We are going there to win medals. We are going there to actually make an impact. And then, after a shambolic performance, of which most of our athletes didn't participate due to the fact that they incompetence on the part of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria not submitting the samples on time, and then the kids issue,
washing their kits.
The kids issue, a tussle of, you're not going to use the kits. These are the ones I want you to use because these are the ones that have been approved by the ministry and all that. And then after coming back to the country, you tell us that we didn't win medals because 90% of the athletes that performed were new horns. It was their first time, and so this and that. But see, Nigeria should go and change. They should go and change, especially Sunday Dari should change. If he tries it again, next Olympics,
Paris.
Don't worry. People that will come for him, they are already watching. I won't say much.
Hopefully that doesn't repeat itself. But I think that has got to be basically all we have got on the card for the round table. We had to really just stroll past a lot of those talking points, really deep-seated ones, but time is not our friend. Mr. Ma was standing by already. But Chidi, well, thank you so very much. It was a pleasure having you.
Well, it's been a great 2021. In advance. It's been a great 2021. Can't wait for 2022.
Ofoma, thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Absolutely enjoyed it.
Looking forward to next year.
He's crashed our party. I can't count how many times he appeared on Femi and The Gang. He crashed our party. He was the first person that sat on the seats. So this is Gate crashing. How many times did he appear on the show? On Thursday
there can only be one former example. And they tell you, please and please. For a man who has given me the Thursday show, please put some respect. I don't want you disrespecting this guy. You know how many Thursday shows he gave me in 2021?
He's sticking to the party through the back door.
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, you are still a bona fide member of sports. I'm Femi The Gang. And I respect you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for
this 2022, please just take your mind off Thursday presentation. Yes, it's been good.
Chuma, thank you so much. Thank you.
And thanks to our group head of sport, Iman Leighton, for the jersey. Emma, thanks for the jersey.
Many thanks, Emmanuel.
Iman, where's my jersey?
You're not a member. I told you great crash party. I'm beyond Wahala.
Daisy, thank you.
We were excited. We had fun. Time not our friend, but by next year, God willing, we're even going to make it bigger and of course better. We're the best in the land.
All right, there you go. Emmanuel, thank you so much. Happy New Year to you in advance. Are you still there? Well, he's off. Are you still there?
I am. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right, Sarafina, are you there?
I am there.
Sarafina?
I'll not go find man.
Namdi, thank you so very much.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year, David. Happy New Year.